Bans. Xerath, Jarvan taken off the table from Unicorns of Love, targeting Frederick and Pepinero. Pepinero famed for his Xerath play leading up to the expansion tournament. In reply, Cassiopeia and Sivir.
Yeah, so two target bans here in the mid lane, and of course Jax being banned away here against Werlyb. So we're gonna have to see him on a different top laner. Gnar still left open, could be the pickup for Giants if it's not going to be first picked by Vizicsacsi, who I do believe actually himself said, whenever Gnar is open, I want to play him because he's so good on him and because Gnar is considered such a strong pick here. So I want to see if Giants will ban it or leave it open.
And of course, last week, the win that Unicorns of Love did pick up was with Chachi playing Gnar.
All right, that's going to be Gnar.
Final ban is Thresh. No question about it. You don't get more of an insta-lock than that. And Gnar secured for the Power Ponies.
So Thresh banned here by Giants. It was actually the go-to pick for Rydle last week. He played it twice. He first picked it twice as well for Giants Gaming. So banning it away this time. Not sure if they were expecting Unicorns to actually take it. And maybe hoping they could get a Gnar if you take Thresh for Hylissang, who's known as a very good Thresh player himself. But why would you ever take that over Gnar anyway?
Well, I've got another question over and above the supports is, what is Frederick going to play in the jungle? Last week he ran Vi and Elise. Jarvan was banned by Unicorns of Love. Obviously those two champions are up. Kikis played Jarvan in both of his games last week. Lee Sin is still up and available. And Rek'Sai is available as well.
For the first time.
So let's see if either of these teams feel it's pick-worthy.
But again, I mean, we have so many of these power picks open, we don't even bother talking about them because we know both teams here have the option of picking multiple ones. On the side of Unicorns of Love, or sorry, on Giants Gaming, Annie slowly becoming actually the #1 support here.
I wouldn't even say slowly. I would say the de facto support.
You have Janna, but the teams don't want to play disengage here in Europe at the moment. They want to play all in engage. We heard Lulex on the analyst desk here after his game for H2K saying, we just wanted some engage. I mean, we want to fight. We just want to go in. We don't want to sit back and wait. Same for Giants here. Thresh will banned away. Rydle will get his Annie. And of course, LeBlanc for Pepinero, one of his strongest picks, one of the picks he used in the expansion tournament as well to really get Giants Gaming in the LCS.
Yeah, performing at a really high level.
There's Rek'Sai.
We do see Rek'Sai locked in. That is the first time here in Europe. Vardags will grab himself a Corki. He played Sivir twice last week. So we're going to see her. Rek'Sai is a lady. Please keep me in track because I said he earlier today. I'm going to see how well Unicorns of Love can sync up with the presence and the lane control that a Rek'Sai offers. His mobility from his ultimate really going to allow him to keep everybody on Giants in line across the map.
She gives so much map control, not only because she has a global ult to herself as long as she set up the tunnel, but also because, again, when you're on the ground here, you can spot where the enemy team is moving around. You get these small circles popping under them, and your entire team can, of course, see it. So you don't even need a ward placed if you want to try and catch someone out here or avoid being caught. So Rek'Sai just offers so much for the team, and also, of course, fantastic damage, great wave clear, clear in the jungle. Combined with some good ganks.
Well, Giants Gaming are signaling they wish to point, click, and delete somebody. With Vi, Annie, LeBlanc, and that Super Mega Death Rocket from Jinx, Giants are looking to eliminate a target, and they have a ton of tools to do that. But if they don't blow that person up, it could get scary. PowerOfEvil maybe going something like a Lulu to help balance that. We'll find out shortly.
You don't have much defense on the side of Giants Gaming here, not much disengage. It's either go all in or just end up dying here. So it's, once again, we're going to have these setups where it's who can engage first and who can lock down a carry and just blow him up before the fight even starts, and then you're going to win it. Because Giants, on their side again, it's comfort picks for the carries. Adryh, he's a great Jinx player, used to play it so much as well back in the Challenger series, and getting it once again, and you have this burst combination, you land the ulti of course, and then you get your reset or you get your passive proc, and you can just keep chasing down these kills. So very, very all in by Giants so far. Let's see what Unicorns want. I mean, Janna is open if you want them to disengage, but she doesn't work that well against the Vi because you cannot stop Vi from going in, so you have to time it with the ulti being connected, target landing down on the ground, then you have to pop your Monsoon, and that just doesn't buy you enough time when a LeBlanc falls, when a Tipples follow, and of course Jinx with the rocket.
So we'll find out what Rydle or what they're going to lock in. But on the side of Unicorns of Love, Hylissang going to Leona. Played it last week as well. Actually got a 7 KDA on that champion. Was not particularly impressive in lane. However, once we got to the mid game and the team fight, solar flares, for days. But also another aggressive team comp from Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, and you get the Kassadin counter pick to LeBlanc in the laning phase. Kassadin has a very, very good time against it because, again, you can have your magic shield, you can freely farm, she cannot poke you down, she doesn't have the mana to kill you through your flask, through 3 potions as well here. So good lane matchup for PowerOfEvil on this Kassadin. Make sure he gets the Rod of Ages fairly early. And then again, you have that mid-game spike of a Warrior Enchant Rek'Sai and a Corki to make sure you can take fights there, clean up with the Kassadin, shoot him towards the late game. And once again, both teams are just really looking to team fight.
It's the flavor of the spring split, I feel, when you look at the team comps that we are seeing. Maokai, the final lock-in, is available this week. Once again, we are playing on patch 5.1 with Maokai and the Zrot, the ZZ Rot portal app. Giants Gaming have got a whole heap of lockdown and single target focus, but I think that Maokai is going to offer a fair amount of team fight tankiness, but Giants still have to deal with a lot of very, very mobile champions from Unicorns of Love.
And for Giants here, going into late game, it's going to be so much about Adryh and how he can position himself on Jinx. If he doesn't have a flash ready, there's going to be a stun coming in from Hylissang. His ulti is going to land in his face every time. Gnar falls in, Rek'Sai, everything pile onto him and kill him before the fight starts, because you're running a double damage threat from Giants with the Maokai, so they are going to beat the target here, where of course Gnar tends to offer a bit more damage in these fights here. But that's actually been when we watched Gnar against like a Sion. Maokai himself, not too shabby, at least in the mid-game. It's okay damage.
Well, we did see those last closing seconds, both of the respective coaches, Sheepy on the side of Unicorns of Love, Lozark on the side of Giants, giving their team some advice. One of the things that I really took away from talking to the coaches here and watching the NA coaches was hearing how the players and the coaches were saying in those last couple of seconds, getting some hints, some tips.
Yeah.
Remember your vision, remember your decision-making, how you're going to play out. This is, of course, the team comps. As always, guys, hop onto Twitter, vote and tell us who you think will win. Hashtag UOL win or hashtag GIA win, rather. Unicorns of Love and Giants. Less clear-cut this game, I feel, Deficio.
Agree.
And it's going to be exciting to watch. We're loading up into game. It is UOL versus Giants, game 2 here in week 2.
Yeah, let's look at Giants comp again. So much is going to involve around Adryh and this Jinx, because if he gets to late game, and you have a Maokai as well, and of course Vi actually has quite a lot of damage as a jungler in the late game, it's not a bad setup for them at all. Rek'Sai normally, when we see here, goes Warrior Enchant into full tank, so obviously there's quite a beefy front line though for Adryh to try and shoot his way through in both Gnar and Rek'Sai, joined obviously by Leona as well.
Adryh played Graves in both of his games last week, had a 13 KDA, so he has the ability to carry. Now we just need to make sure that he can do that while he's got the support of his team. Werlyb is hanging about, got a sapling toss, so there's no CC, but here comes Rydle. Gonna stun Vardags up. Is he in trouble? May have to start with Val. That's a flash, actually. Vardags had already skilled his Foss Bomb, but that's really important, knowing that you're gonna have the potential of a Vi plus Annie engage. Even the Flame Chompers from Jinx, Vardags is gonna play super careful in lane.
Just gonna have to sit back and farm. No real reason for him to go aggressive though, the Corki Leona lane, unless they could get the early level 2 onto the likes of a Jinx on Annie. Again, 2 immobile targets, so while we talk about how Corki has no flash, I mean, look at the side of Giants here. If Leona ever gets to engage onto them in the laning phase, and Kikis come down on Rek'Sai, you have the knock up, you have the stun, you're gonna kill either Annie or Jinx every single time. So both bottom lanes here could be a target for the junglers, and we actually see them as well start on the top side of the map. So moving down towards this bottom lane, once they do have the double buff, we could see some action very, very early on.
Well, I'm really glad you actually bring up the presence of Kikis, because one of the reasons that Werlyb was able to just sort of snowball ahead last week was how limited interaction his opponent's junglers had in his lane. Werlyb was gifted free lanes, frequently in both of the games, and Kikis is not the type of jungler to let that happen.
No, and even better also for Kikis, he's now playing a jungler with a global ulti, which means he can set up his tunnels, and you have to do this pre-level 6. You need to set up defensive tunnels, one close to the top lane, one to the mid lane, one to the bottom lane, and obviously at your camps as well, so you can move between them very, very fast. But you need to be able to gank the bottom lane and quickly move to the top side if someone like Frederick shows up there, and suddenly you can be part of ganking or defending 2 lanes almost at the same time on this Rek'Sai. We're gonna see how he uses it. Hylissang wanted to go aggressive at the level 2 here. I actually think Rydle managed to last hit the Grom, and Adryh didn't get any XP from it because he's standing down in the tri-bush doing it. The Giants didn't really get a chance to go for an all-in when they both hit level 2, as only Rydle got it.
So we'll see how the engages continue to pan out. Keep an eye on those HP bars. Kikis is very, very low. He went down using the passive to regen up and actually opting to recall. Gonna be under vision, so Giants will be aware of it. That's a very good ward placement. The passive, the Fury of the Xerxai. Once Kikis starts burning through some of that built-up Fury, actually regens in the jungle. Still not enough for more than the first clear, though.
No, but we do see for him, he's really gonna focus on power farming. He already clears really, really fast on the Rek'Sai. He goes back after 3 camps, so he will only be able to get a ward. He won't get any potions for it, but he will upgrade his jungle items, get this 30 gold, of course, and just start really clearing fast. I do expect him to sell his Trailblazer later and swap it over to a Chilling Smite or Stalker's Blade, as that combined with your knock-up and your extra movement speed while you're on the ground really sets up for some very, very scary ganks.
So interesting build path options available to Kikis. We did catch a brief glimpse there of this mid lane. PowerOfEvil on the lane matchup that you actually favored, Kassadin into LeBlanc, finding himself 10 CS down. Pepinero off to a good start, considering PoE was probably the more hyped mid laner. There was a lot more excitement around PowerOfEvil, and he's instantly struggling.
And it's a different start for Pepinero compared to what we normally see in this matchup. We always see Doran's Ring and 2 potions on LeBlanc here. Again, the problem for is he can't really trade well enough with the Kassadin and keep him mana up at the same time to really push him out of the lane. But with the flash, he has more mana. Now Kikis going for the first gank.
Oh, there's the tunnel. Got the Queen's Wrath down. Going to be attacking in a second. First blood. All too simple. This is a question we're going to have to speak to Unicorns of Love and PowerOfEvil about. Was it intentional? Was he dragging his feet? We'll get to that in a second. Werlyb is going to get the gank of Frederick once again. Brief knocker from Vizicsacsi, flashes, 100 HP, there's no red buff, but the denting blow secures the kill. Frederick with an instant reply from Giants. It's not over yet. Now Hylissang's in trouble, forced a flash. Ignite was burning him down. Adryh and Rydle continue to chase. Stun comes onto Vardags. Summoner heal burn. 50 HP. The rocket secures the kill. Hylissang goes in, gets a reply. Here comes Kikis. Knocks up Rydle. Rydle's been slowed. Kikis is spinning. He's winning. He's looking for the damage. Red buff is there. He tunnels. He burrows. He shoots. Rydle gets away.
He walks and he stays alive.
I got a bit excited there, Deficio. First Rek'Sai again for me.
A lot of kills here. Again, the junglers, they're involved with everything. We keep talking about Frederick and Kikis. They're so active in the early game. Gank in mid lane from Kikis got the kill here. Pepinero didn't use his flash at all. I believe he got hit by the slow from PowerOfEvil and figured, okay, if Rek'Sai's gonna flash on me here, I'm not gonna get away anyway because I was dropping fairly low. And then obviously in the top side, connect the Q from the Vi, finish up the kill as well from Frederick's side. But man, a lot of action here. And obviously the lack of flash you mentioned at level 1, Vardags ends up dying for it. So
2-2 in kills. 200 gold separates the team. Kikis with some successful ganks. He's looking to get control of the crab. Frederick wants to play with him. We've got 2 junglers, both sporting ranging Trailblazers.
More.
Look at the support. Kikis does not have flash. Keep that in mind. He throws out the Prey Seeker. Still going to be unburrowed, or rather burrowed. And he's going to actually use the tunnel to get away. So Giants looking to set something up, but nothing yet. Now Hylissang trying to set up on Pepinero. Remember, Pepe's still got his flash. Not needed, because that went wide. My word, it's not over yet. Werlyb, level 6, going aggressive on Chachi. Chachi's got mega Gnar form, but he doesn't have access. Throws down a giant boulder. He's going to get away cleanly, but non-stop aggression across the map.
Every single lane here supports roaming as well from the bottom side out towards mid lane, towards the junglers fighting at the dragon here. It's not over yet. Once Frederick hits level 6, he's going to go instantly to a lane as well. Vardags will have his flash ready, but Hylissang won't if he wants to target this bottom lane.
Well, we'll see what...
Again, you want to get Adryh ahead. He's already picked up an assist from that early kill.
Oh, Hylissang. He's got the Zenith Blade. Does catch Adryh. Vardags has come in. Here comes Kikis. Void Rush throws himself in. Prey Seeker's got a long range. Doesn't connect this time round. Tunnels to close the distance. There's the slow from the Chilling Smite. You called it Deficio, bro. Flash away from Adryh. The engage from Unicorns of Love gets a summoner spell, and we'll see if they can rinse and repeat shortly.
But again, this is what you do on Rek'Sai. Once you recall, you make sure you have a tunnel around the lane where you want to set up a gank. You just instantly use your ulti back to that lane here. You join in. 2 people now want to gank Vizicsacsi. We already have Werlyb pushing it down. Vizicsacsi should not be able to survive here.
There is no Assault and Battery with a knockback from Pepe. Throws him out to the side.
Oh no.
And the Ignite secures the kill. That was a little less exciting than we were hoping for. It's not over yet. Adryh's been caught. There's no flash on him. Keep that in mind. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. Pepe's knocked up. He's saving his distortion. Does get out. Here comes PowerOfEvil. He's going to flash for it. Does get a kill with the Null Sphere. Now he's chasing down PoE. Frederick's level 5 in reply on the side lane. And the bottom was able to disengage. This is just crazy. 3-3 at 8 minutes.
I really love these two teams here. Every single lane is just roaming around, consistently looking for fights. I mean, Pepinero last week, you could said, you know, Zoran and Belisa couldn't really keep him in lane. Now against PowerOfEvil as well. He's just roaming here, pushing the wave against the Kassadin. Got the kill in the top lane, ended up dying for it as well as the response come. But so much action here. And this is really gonna now be a game where if you manage to use the first few kills you get to get a few defensive pink wards and obviously a few green wards here, and you just light up the river here so you can see every single roam happening, you can predict what's about to happen and you can counter gank it and suddenly turn it into your advantage.
Something that you definitely get the vibe when you watch both of these games is Unicorns of Love and Giants have something to prove. They are both playing very aggressively. They've got team compositions that complement an in-your-face play style.
Yeah, you have no kiting or disengage from anyone. Like, this is just all in for every single team.
Go ham or go home. That's the way it works for these guys. A lot of faith in Unicorns of Love, though. Won out their fan vote last week against Gambit as well, which quite surprised me, really. This is a new team to the scene, but they've got a lot of support. Take a look at the tunnel coverage. I do want to highlight that Kikis on this Rek'Sai. She has got her tunnel options, top, middle, and bottom.
Yes, sir.
Deeper in the bottom lane, and not too surprising because truthfully, Vardags and Hylissang are the two guys who are a little bit weaker than the rest of Unicorns of Love. I think you feel that UOL is about their solo lanes more than the duo, but they're holding even, 0-1-1, both supports with a kill, both with options to play with.
Yeah, talking about holding even here, PowerOfEvil has now caught up in farm. Pepinero sitting in.
Helps when he's gifted first blood.
I mean, sure, it's a bonus, but had a bit of trouble in the start with Pepinero pushing down, but could have just been a bait from Unicorns of Love, and now we can really see the trade from Kassadin he can do over and over to LeBlanc. Frederick down his bottom lane. We talk about how engage onto the likes of a Leona here. She won't be able to dodge away from it, and she will end up dying for it.
Adryh's baited in. The solar flare comes down. First victim is Jinx. Can Vardags get away? He's flashed, he's valked, he's healed, he's alive. Frederick is going to think about the dive. Here comes the Void Rush. Kikis is looking to fight. This is now a 2-on-2. Teleport from Werlyb in the background. Hylissang is still in. That was a flash knocker from Kikis. He's got one. He's got two. Now he's looking for Werlyb. Chachi, he's going to pounce. He gets the stun. Does have Gnar. Gnar's Werlyb into the wall, and Unicorns of Love come out. 4 for 1, I believe, or 4 for 0.
And every single Unicorns of Love player just went straight to the bottom lane, roaming from PowerOfEvil. Of course, Kikis with this global ulti. This is why teams ban Rek'Sai, because she's so strong at her map pressure, her map control. She can be everywhere. And he's just really been off to a good start. 3-0-3. Only one kill he wasn't part of.
Great play. Crowd erupts with the Unicorns chant. And at 11 minutes...
he as Kikis, not as Rek'Sai, because everyone knows it's a she.
You were right. You were right. You said
Kikis
she.
is okay. He's a guy. He's a boy.
We're just getting a bit obsessed because we get yelled at on Twitter. So this was the counter engage from Frederick.
So I understand why Giants is going for Vardags here, because he's on the Corki, he's the damage dealer, but he does have Valk, he does have Flash. He can actually escape if you don't burst him down instantly, where Hylissang would be stuck, and just try and get for the one kill, at least see if you can get him low enough, and then be ready to disengage in case this happens. You should always respect the Rek'Sai ulti. Whenever you're fighting, if you haven't seen Kikis ulti in a while, you know there's a high chance he's gonna come down and join, and of course, teleport from Vizicsacsi. You just want to be part of it and get one kill.
Absolutely no deaths on the side of Unicorns of Love. Now they're going to try set something up. Frederick has been a little bit caught out. Assault and Battery's not available, but look at the damage onto PowerOfEvil. It's going to force him to run away. While we've got a brief second, also look at the itemization of Werlyb's Maokai. Got himself that Righteous Glory as a first item. Oh, they've caught Adryh out. He's stunned in place. PowerOfEvil trying to set something up. Hylissang is alone amongst three, but now he's got the support. Victim is going to be Hylissang as Adryh gets the super mega death rocket down. They'll be forced to back away, and PowerOfEvil went in reverse while Hylissang was going forward.
Yeah, but still, it's the same everywhere, every time in this game. Oh, is there an option for me to go in? I'm gonna go in. And in this case, Hylissang just a little bit too aggressive. Didn't actually see how many guys from Giants were nearby this mid lane. And Righteous Glory, we don't see it too often on Maokai because Rod of Ages has kind of become, or been for a long time, the thing to get at him. You want that extra tank and you want that AP as well, just to have a bit more damage on Maokai in these fights. Lane pressure, because Righteous Glory doesn't really give you anything in the laning phase itself. But it's not about the laning anymore. It's about the team fights, and once again, it's about engaging. It's about going all in. Keep in mind, Annie doesn't have the same kind of engage as a Leona here. You need flash, you need some kind of speed up to get in range with the Tippers for a side where Leona has a lot longer range on her ulti to start a fight.
So we'll see if it works out. Werlyb, of course, needs to be with his team for that Righteous Glory to work out. But I like the theory, and it also just keeps playing into the style of team comp that both of these squads have put together.
I think I would prefer maybe a Talisman coming from Rydle instead, and you just try and get as tanky on this Maokai as possible, because it's going to be your job to sit on Vardags all game long here and just keep him busy. But we're going to have to see if we're actually going to get a Talisman coming from Rydle.
Okay, let me theorize here. You've got HP and mana from the Righteous Glory. So you've got the hit points, you've got some natural tank juice from Maokai. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to regret it. But you can get armor and MR from the ZZ Rot portal, maybe second item. Maybe I'm getting too excited because it's available.
ZZ Rot portal is an item you build if you want to siege. These teams don't want to siege, they want to fight.
Kikis is going to tunnel. Solar Flare comes down. Rydle's caught out. He's going to be the first one to go down. Not before he's thrown out Tibbers. Doesn't matter though. Support for support as Frederick is going to get dropped. Now Pepe's in trouble. Forced to flash out from the side lane. Adryh gets shut down by Vardags. Vardags has got red buff ticking, and once again, Unicorns of Love come out ahead. 1 for 3 after an aggressive engage.
This is the thing we talked about in champs, like how for Giants, again, you have 2 damage dealers. So if Adryh goes down early on, he's denied or been unable to actually hit anyone because he has to constantly run away. Giants will lack some damage compared to Unicorns of Love. We're just going to see it again here. Pepinero trading on Hylissang a little bit. Notice how everyone is moving except for Werlyb, who's actually on Maokai, sitting in lane.
Oh, we come back to life.
More kills. Who needs replays anyway?
Yeah, not this time around. We did see that Void Rush from Kikis, instrumental. 4-0-5. The first Rek'Sai in Europe, and now you see why it's permabanned in this side of the pond.
And this has been the perfect game to have Rek'Sai in, because there's been action in every single lane, and again, she can be in one lane, then instantly swap over to the next one, join that fight as well. And because all the comps are just purely all in, the damage from a Rek'Sai, especially now in this mid-game, or enchant Hexdrinker as well, because Kikis picked up all these early kills. If he finds Adryh one-on-one, Kikis will destroy him.
So keep in mind we are on 5.1. So even though Rek'Sai, she took some hits this patch, not 5.2 live, which is taking even further. Look how quickly Kikis can burn through that red Brambleback. Got himself a Giant's Belt, got 2 Hexdrinkers. Unicorns of Love find themselves nearly 5,000 gold in the lead. They've got 2 towers to 0. They've got the first dragon. Drake is spawning in a minute. Let's see if Vardags can hold this tower. He's got pretty good wave clear. Basically 1v2. That was a very good defense.
A nice little defense here. Frederick didn't actually show himself in this bottom. He's hiding in the bush, waiting for either Kikis to come in for a gank and then try and kill him, or maybe go straight for Vardags. Oh, spotted out.
Yeah, Prey Seeker is going to give Frederick's position away.
Yeah, another good thing about Rek'Sai.
In the top lane, Chachi, PowerOfEvil, Hylissang, they're looking to chop down the tree that is Werlyb, and that's going to be all too easy. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be a dead Maokai. A little longer than expected, but they got him done eventually.
So Giants sent 3 guys to the bottom lane. Doesn't pick up a kill. Didn't even get a tower here due to the defense with Vardags. And then Werlyb was just stuck in the top side. So Unicorns of Love knew they could go for a very safe dive onto him, knowing 3 guys from Giants were stuck in the bottom lane. Get a tower as well. So looking very, very nice for Unicorns of Love. And the first game we see where Werlyb isn't like 4-5-0 just from the early game on his top laner.
And during the pre-game, beginning of the day interviews, you can see those little footsteps actually from Pepe on the ground. Kikis still targetable despite being burrowed, is going to get rooted up. Manages to close some distance, and Chachi said it, we are not going to give Werlyb the space he needs to get fed and to get ahead. And that's what you see, 0-3-2, even on CS actually with Chachi. So at least keeping himself relevant in terms of goal, but way behind Global, not having those 3 towers to his name. Or 6 assists.
And he really needs to get fed of this Maokai here, because there's so much damage on the side of Unicorns of Love. If he's not able to go in and buy time for Adryh and Pepinero here to find the kills, then Giants won't be able to win the fights late game either. So we're going to have to see if Werlyb can actually just try and get the farm before he really joins in the team fights, because right now he won't be able to do too much.
And it's actually a super difficult team to itemize against if you are Giants. You've got physical, magic, true, mixed damage from a lot of different sources. So we need to see how Giants actually pull themselves ahead. Looking down the items, Edge and Zeal for Adryh. As you see Werlyb pushing the top lane out, realizing he needs to teleport bottom. Unicorns of Love have got a 5-man push. They're actually going to get some damage down. Not before they're forced to back away.
And what Unicorns of Love are doing right now is using the fact that Corki is a lot stronger than a Jinx in the mid-game. Trinity Force is completed, BF sword as well for Vardags, so they're grouping, forcing Giants now to come and defend the towers here, and potentially even risk being killed if they want to go for any engage, because Vardags is very, very strong compared to Adryh.
That was so close from Hylissang. Leona, definitely one of his signature champions to fall back to. Pepinero still getting pushed away. Remember that Unicorns of Love got the teleport out of Werlyb, so Chachi can push a side lane. And the level of aggression that Unicorns of Love have put on the map, with having the teleport and having that Void Rush from Rek'Sai, is going to give Unicorns so many options when playing the lanes, but there's no tunnel set up in the top half of the map for Kikis.
No, but just having Rek'Sai allows you to have a jungler who can actually split push, because she will push the waves very, very fast with the Q, and obviously again she has the ulti to join in for potential fights as long as you stay around the tunnels. A lot of possibilities for Unicorns of Love when it comes to, again, the mid to late game. For now, Giants decided they want to group themselves.
And I'm just waiting for the engage. Somebody's going to throw something in. If we're looking at Kikis, it's because he's about to rush. He's coming to the tunnel that's behind. There's the teleport we talked about. Is the fight over yet? Solo 3 against 3! Giants are locked up. Giants are flung backwards. The Unicorns of Love are pouncing on them. That is 4 for 0, and PowerOfEvil has set his sights on Pepinero. PJ Salters, Giants get aced.
What a nice setup here. Giants grouping up, trying to siege down a tower. You can't do it unless you know that you can't get engaged from the flank. When you have a Jinx, it's what we talk about, how you can lock her down, you can get around her. That was an ulti from Kikis and a teleport, same position. Again, you can teleport to the tunnels as well. That was absolutely fantastic.
Let's see it again, Deficio, because this was quite exciting.
So, teleport and, of course, Rek'Sai ulti from Kikis behind them. Notice the positioning of Adryh. He's going to beat the target. Solar Flare first, and now there's nothing you can do. Triple knockup from Kikis. And this team fight was just perfect by Unicorns of Love.
It was over before it began. The moment Chachi and Kikis were able to get that flank, it's next to impossible to get away from that. That was, I think, a 3-man solar flare with 2 people being stunned. And Kikis got himself, I believe, a 3-man knockup as well with that unburrow. Great performance on the Queen of the Xerxite.
Can we just keep her banned?
6-0-6.
Can we just ban her again?
Such an exciting team. Infinity HP with his Warmogs completed in the top lane now. Over 10,000 or just around 10,000 gold lead in favor of the Unicorns of Love. Let's see what they do. Chachi's found himself Peppy. And get a lot of damage down and just keep pushing him out. And it's all been about the Unicorns. They've been very aggressive, as were the Giants, but Unicorns have secured more towers, more dragons, and that's allowed them to maintain control.
Yeah, and they've just been doing a very good job actually pushing the lead in the mid-game again, before Jinx can scale up, before Maokai can become really tanky. Because Vizicsacsi is doing the Hexdringer into Warmogs we see so often on the Gnar here, and just getting the Warmogs early on. If you need to itemize against physical and magic damage, and you just need one item to do it, flat HP is the best. Warmogs gives the most in the game, so that's why he goes for it as the second item here. And Unicorns of Love really just pushing this mid-game lead with the Corki, with the Rek'Sai getting all these early kills, and Giants simply don't have enough time to do anything.
And I want to go back to questions that we posed. I know I've said it a whole bunch, but Giants were 2-0 coming into the week. Giants really needed to step up against the Unicorns of Love to prove that they could challenge for those top spots. I mean, the Unicorns really put on a great showing at IEM, and last week they were okay in many of their games, but they weren't quite as dominant. This time around, Unicorns are clearly displaying that in this matchup, they're several levels above that of Giants.
at least knowing again how to abuse your power spikes and how to abuse your fed carries here with Giants beforehand. Again, we actually saw Kikis and Vizicsacsi split up in like a 1-3-1 beforehand and just used again the teleport and the ulti from Rek'Sai to then start a fight in the mid lane. Now setting up for a fairly early Baron, only 23 minutes in. Not enough deep ward coverage for them to really do this here. They just want to try and see if Giants want to face check them here and start a fight, even though PowerOfEvil is actually sitting in the mid lane or in the top lane, pushing it in. So for now, Unicorns should wait around just a little bit.
Look how powerful those little footstep pings are for Kikis. Really giving vision of all of the Giants. And of course, throwing out those Prey Seekers while in burrow form. There's a long range on that Q. I always feel like it should slow, but it doesn't. But that's an aside.
You want to make her stronger?
Dragon spawning. The animation makes me think it, that's
I think her E should also stun for like 5 seconds.
Why not? I mean, is a knockup not better than a stun? So, Dragon number 3 goes the way of Unicorns of Love. They have that 10,000 gold lead. Unicorns were sniffing around Baron, but realize they don't need it at the moment. And the Giants face a gigantic hill to climb because they are in such a difficult position against this very aggressive UOL team.
Yeah, and again, it all falls on Adryh in these team fights now. He has Phantom Dancer completed, so going for the optimal single target damage build. The best damage possible for him on 2 items. However, he's still a Jinx, who's immobile, who has no help from his team. There's 0 peel on the side of Giants here. I'm not even sure Rydle wants to build a Mikhails, even though it's what you normally do against Leona. It was one of the reasons she fell out of favor, because you would go Mikhails and you would just cleanse her ulti when she tried to engage on your squishies in the back line. But I want to see what Rydle... I mean, I think it is the best option when you have Righteous Glory already completed, so you do have that speed up for your team. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually invest his money into getting a Talisman, selling his current gold item and switch it over to a Talisman.
So, Deficio for the second time today, the top inner turret is the last turret remaining. Pepe's playing with fire. That's very brave. Look at the damage there from 1 Null Sphere. Point being, Unicorns of Love have a high, massive lead. And they are pushing this top inner turret, much like HTK were in our previous game of the day. Let's see where Hylissang goes. Where does he want to push? Pepe is, again, really playing with fire. Pushing forward, and he's been poked away. There has to be the ghost signal for the tower. Look at Hylissang's position. That's going to keep Giants back.
Yeah, the Unicorns can just keep Giants around this top lane, because look at the bottom lane here. Massive wave has already been built up. It's slow pushing towards forcing someone down to defend it. And even if you send the Maokai, who has teleport, he might not be able to come and join the fight in time when there's so much burst coming in from Unicorns of Love and so many engaged options.
Right, let's see. Frederick, Desperation, Assault and Battery. Is he going to go in? That is the question. Got that red buff ticking. Pepe again going aggressive, pushing forward. You have to feel if Giants are going to have any chance of coming back, they need to try and punish. Flash Tibbers plus stun is available for Rydle. But Unicorns have just got actually surprisingly good poke with that Corki.
There it is.
There's the flash, the Tibbers. PowerOfEvil's caught up, and Pepinero instantly forced away. Adryh's been caught up by the solar flares. You see Rydle is the first to fall. Instant reply from Vardags, taking down Werlyb with no tree to hold them back. Unicorns of Love get the inhibitor.
Vardags was just sitting ready here, waiting for that flash engage from Rydle. And as soon as it happened, he just jumped away, got stunned by the Tibbers, but he was far away from everyone, so they couldn't actually kill him. And right now, Unicorns of Love, we're gonna get 2 games ending in under 30 minutes. That was pretty crazy.
Let's see what Frederick can do. Assault and Battery goes in, but you can see Unicorns have split. They've taken down Adryh. Frederick is still alive, but not for much longer, as it's Kikis that takes him out. Unicorns get 2 more kills and another inhibitor. Gonna back away, happy with absolute map control that they've built up for themselves. A few more minutes before they can actually push down the Nexus. But again, just that desperation play from Frederick. Oh, it's not over yet. Pepe eats a boomerang before he's forced back.
So, Kikis right now on Rek'Sai. He's the guy with the 2nd most goal in the game as a jungler. Obviously 8-0-8, so that's been absolutely fantastic, but we typically don't see the jungler sit on that much gold, and he's just been so fed, and pretty much through the entire game, from the early double kill he picks up in the bottom lane, how he was managed to join in for every single fight, and really showing why the teams respect Rek'Sai so much and normally ban it in every game. Again, this is the first game it's open in Europe. And we see why.
Yeah, you see why. I mean, you see why. Right at the beginning of the day, you said Werlyb was one of our players to watch. What will Werlyb do when he's not given a free lane? When his opponent's strategy is not feed Werlyb and hope to win? 0-5-2, Unicorns of Love have demonstrated they can play around the Maokai. They can play around this very aggressive comp from Giants. And they've just picked really intelligent engages. So Unicorns, again, holding on to this massive lead. I'm not going to try math, but it's many, many thousand gold. Frozen Mallet picked up by Chachi. Baron being started. And if Giants even try to interrupt this, Unicorns surely are going to take them out.
Yeah, no chance. You have super minions pushing in 2 lanes, so you just have to sit back in your base, try and pick up some farm. But it really, I mean, looking at the pick and ban phase, Giants wanted the LeBlanc pick for Pepinero. And I remember back in the expansion tournament how they first picked it when they gave over, at that time, Java and Lissandra, who was considered like 2, still are, of course, but really back in the expansion tournament, it was like the 2 main picks, strongest picks you could get close to it. They took LeBlanc instead as the first pick. This time around, again, they early picked the LeBlanc, first rotation from Giants, giving over Rek'Sai to Unicorns of Love, who of course first picked the Gnar themselves. And now they're going on Adryh, and he's dead.
Adryh is dead. The Unicorns of Love proving Unicorns are not mythically powerful. 3 kills for PowerOfEvil. Deficio, I just want to wrap up that point you were saying. That's PoE going in for the flash, trying to make it a quadra. First pick LeBlanc, 1-3-2. First pick Annie, 1-5-2. Giving up the Gnar at 2-2-11 and giving up the Rek'Sai at 8-0-10. Unicorns of Love dominate Giants.
Absolutely fantastic.
Kikis just dug them an early grave. There's no way else to say it.
But this
fantastic
game, I mean, 5 minutes into this game, every single lane, someone had died in like a 1-on-1 and 2v2. There were fights everywhere. And it just went in favor of Unicorns of Love here. They had the earlier power spikes with the Corki. Gnar became extremely tanky early on. Of course, Rek'Sai picking up all these kills for herself simply meant that Unicorns of Love could abuse that power spike and keep forcing fights around against Giants here. Adryh on Jinx. Not a fun game to play the AD carry when you know every single one wants to jump you and kill you and nobody from your team can help you. They can just look at you die and that's it.
A lot of fan support here. Viewers in the studio chanting Unicorns, Unicorns all the way through. Just for some interest's sake, really quickly. Most of the members of Giants were around 9,000 damage done to champions. They were carries. For the side of Unicorns of Love, they were closer to around 14,000, with the jungler of Kikis' Rek'Sai dealing 12,000 damage. Only 2k behind his carries. To contrast it, that's more than double the amount of damage Frederick put down. But, you know, when you're playing a damage dealer Rek'Sai, I feel that in playstyle and execution, Rek'Sai is similar to Nocturne in some ways. You have to be on a carry, you have to be getting kills to be effective, and Kikis demonstrates that. 8-0-10.
Yeah.
Great performance.
And really also, I mean, a difference between Rek'Sai and Nocturne, again, the early pressure you can have as a Rek'Sai, your ganks are great. Keep in mind, when you tunnel in, you don't actually use any ability you need for the gank itself. It's not like a Jarvan doing an EQ combo over a wall and has to wait for it to be ready. No, you just tunnel over, you walk straight in here, you have your knock-up. This game showed, first of all, again, why Rek'Sai normally is being banned, because whenever there is so much action early on, you can just be part of every single fight. But also showed, again, Unicorns of Love, how good they are when they have these chaotic games where it's just constant fighting around. The shot calling seems to be on point, even though they are just yelling random things during the fights. But yet, they're so good at finding, okay, where's Adryh here? Okay, boom, lock him down with Leona.